Now you probably know what this is if you're older than age 40. You used to be able to find these in millions of homes across the world. Now this one here was built in the 1950s, and it's a good example of MCM, or mid-century modern furniture.
One ringy ding. Oh, gracious, good afternoon. Is this the party who has answered my call?
This thing is well designed in its simplicity. There are 14 separate pieces of wood, only 14 pieces that make up this bench. However, it is in really bad shape.
What a piece of junk.
It's falling apart. Every joint is loose. The seat structure underneath is rotten. The finish is peeling. Now my plan is to restore this and try to match the wood stain if possible. Reglue all of the joints, and then, if I can, reuse this vinyl seat. Let's get into it. I'm taking a little break now from the telephone bench to go check out something really cool. My friends Mary Jo and Bob from Beyond Grandma's House Antique Store invited me to check out some interesting finds in a home where they're helping the owner remove and sell some items that belong to the father who recently passed away. And I can't wait to see what they've got. I'm heading to the basement workshop of Robert Naumann. Robert had an engraving business down here. These are some of his engraving machines. Now here's an interesting room with tons of hardware and parts in jars that spin on the walls and ceiling. I was given permission by Robert's son to take any or all of the hardware I wanted. Christmas is coming early this year, but you're gonna have to wait until a future video to see what I was able to take home. Now, back to the telephone bench. So when I'm sanding wood like this, it's not very forgiving. Oak, for example, allows you to sand not perfectly because it seems to hide a lot more scratches, but this has a tight grain. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but I have to sand extremely carefully, otherwise all the scratches show up. So after using the belt sander, I'm now using the orbital sander in successive grits, all the way up to about 320. Even though I sanded this wood thoroughly, it still absorbs the stain in a way I don't like. I'll apply a thin coat of a sanding sealer, which is an unwaxed shellac. After that dries in about 10 minutes, I'll lightly sand it, clean it, then I'll apply the stain. Even though the shellac is a finish and you normally don't apply a stain on top of a finish, shellac is different. When I apply stain over a thin coat of sanding sealer, the stain will still absorb into the wood slightly. Not as dark as it would be without shellac, but I do get a more even color and grain pattern. Some of the original holes still have glue, so I'm going to need to drill those out. Turns out that the original seat is too far gone and moldy. I can't use any of it. This bench came from Beyond Grandma's House, Vintage Antiques and Collectibles in Chicago, and it's going to go back there where it will be for sale. Mary Jo, the owner, is working on a new seat for this telephone bench. I just got the new seat back from Mary Jo, and it looks amazing. Once I screw the seat back in place, this will be complete and ready to take back to the store, available for purchase. After a short trip, the 1950s telephone bench is now back where it belongs, in the middle of this mid-century modern collection of furniture, looking like it did back in the day.